This DJ and TV show is sponsored by DJ Event Planner, Electra Voice, DJ Trivia and DJ Bingo, ProX Direct, Odyssey Cases, Perfect Portals, Instant DJ Requests, and our DJ and TV Insiders. This is John Young from DJ and TV. Thanks for watching.
Welcome. Tonight, I have the honor of having one of my mentors, my sales gurus, and a very wonderful man I get to call my brother, Mr. Mitch Taylor. But first, before we do any of the rest, I got to thank my sponsors. They're the best. All the people that you saw before I do my intro, all of them are probably running specials. Ben, NLFX, Danny Max, everybody. They are just amazing, and I can't thank them enough. But enough. We'll talk about them later on because we got a lot to talk about with this man. Mitch and I have known each other for a long time. I've had the honor of staying at his house, speaking for his company, and having his family become a part of my family. His two kids, his wife, they're the best. But in the entertainment industry, this man is a legend, a mentor to so many, and one of the most wonderful people in the world. My friends, Mr. Mitch Taylor.
How do I say, Big Daddy? My goodness, that was an introduction.
I've been practicing
everything you said. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy is drinking. No.
Oh yeah, hold on here. I'm drinking heavily. My alkaline water, yes. But as we talk about every week, you've seen the show. All of the folks out there, I'm sure everybody knows who you are because of your seminars and your books. And you got a new book coming out that's already out, and he's got his next speaking. Yep, beautiful. His next speaking engagement, if I'm correct, Mitch, is going to be next in February.
Yes, that is correct.
Mobile Entertainer in Vegas. You're on day one. Which is Tuesday. Yeah. You, Bill Herman, and what a lineup we got for those 2 days. Yeah. So everybody there's a bunch of people, but for those of you, those 2 or 3 people out there that don't know who you are, tell them about yourself. What is how did you get started?
So I got started in the DJ world. I went to New England School of Broadcasting fresh out of high school and did radio for a couple of years back in Maine. I always joke with people, radio, you graduate from broadcasting school, you get a full-time gig doing nights in northern Maine, 36 hours a week, 6 to midnight, 6 nights a week, I made a whopping $143.50 a week after taxes.
Oh my God. Oh,
I'm dating myself with how long ago that was, but that is a true story. And the radio station went bankrupt. Wasn't because they were paying me too much money.
No.
And I moved to Carnival Cruise Lines. I had a job offer to go DJ for Carnival Cruise Lines, onboard ship out of LA and Miami. And so I did that gig for a couple years, moved to Metro Detroit, did weddings, private parties, clubs, things like that. And then once my wife and I had our firstborn, we moved to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's what got me up here. And so I did 7 years in Metro Detroit, and then Tailored Weddings is now 20 years old. The company can almost drink. So we've had a lot of success up here. And I started off as a solopreneur here in the UP of Michigan in Escanaba, a town of about 12,000 people. And I grew the company from there, and we grew it to 10 employees. And now I'm actually putting the brakes on a little bit, taking a little bit more of a step back, and I've expanded in other areas of my business and in the wedding space. And so that's how I got my start. I got started DJing for Carnival Cruise Lines and spinning vinyl.
And that's how you met Michelle, right?
Yes, that's how I met Michelle. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What drives you in this business? What is your passion in this business? What
So
makes you?
over the years.
Mhm.
I think it's changed over the years, and I think it'll change over the years for a lot of people in different ways. Now, it could be more nuanced, right? Or it can truly change. And for me, it's truly changed. I look at, when I left Carnival and I got the job in Metro Detroit, I had 2 different DJ companies I could choose from when I was working in Metro Detroit and wanted to start there. And the first one, I ended up choosing that one because they also did bars. So back then it was about the bar scene, it was about the party, about girls, or what you know what I mean? Just it's about fun. That's what it was about back then. And then, I fell in love with the entrepreneur side too, and growing a company in Metro Detroit. And I was proud to have a hand in doubling the size, not only in systems, but also in talent and also in revenue of the company I worked for there. And then I had the challenge of, now I'm moving to the Upper Peninsula. I'm moving to a place where nobody knows my name at all.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm challenged with, going out and making a name and growing a company. And I did that. And then I successfully did that as a solopreneur here in the UP. And then the next challenge was, well, now can I duplicate? Now can I train others to do what I do? Mike Walter, a dear friend of both of ours, he and I had a conversation back in 2010, 11, somewhere in that ballpark. And I made the pompous statement to him at the time, no one can do what I do. And he's like, BS. I think I can say that. I hope I can. Not only can you train others to do what you do, but they could probably do it better than you in some ways. And Mike was right. And so we grew the company that way. And then now the passion has changed and that challenge has changed because I've succeeded at different levels in business. So now it's growing into different areas, from being a full-on wedding planner and helping couples with a lot of different services for their wedding day, doing day of event coordination, working closely with venues in the area on food and beverage and floor plans and timelines and all those kinds of things, and helping couples through the whole process. But now the challenge, when I share this when I do a sales meeting for a couple now, I say, if it wasn't for this one piece, I'd be completely out of the business by now. And that one piece is helping couples see that there is more to their wedding day than just everyone showing up and celebrating them. Don't get me wrong. That is a big part of it.
Gotcha.
Big part. Okay. But I asked them, other weddings you've been a part of, father-daughter, mother-son dance, have you ever seen anything different? And sometimes they have, most times they haven't.
Yeah.
And I share with them, I'm like, this is your opportunity as a son, as a daughter, to turn around and say thank you to your parents.
Amen.
Because they're the ones that are, I say it exactly like that. They're the ones that have raised you and put up with you for 20 plus years.
Beep, 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 beep. Sorry.
The funny thing is that, here's the funny part, Big Daddy. I said that to a group literally, I don't know, 2 months ago. And he goes, antics. And I'm like, that's a way better word than what I was thinking.
Amen.
Um,
Amen.
But it's true. And they don't
It's
look
those
at it that
moments.
way.
It's those moments that you don't want to miss. And if you're thinking that your every wedding is going to be, well, no, they did it this way, this is the best. No, the best way to do your wedding is listen, because you're going to miss a moment. And like you said, with the father, daughter, mother, son dance, those moments, if you miss them, you're going to regret that.
Yeah. You need to be present in the moment.
Amen.
I tell them too, I'm like, listen, it doesn't have to be a father, daughter, mother, son dance. You don't have to do anything grandiose on your wedding day. I'm just trying to help you see the forest from the trees here in some respect. Maybe you're shy. Maybe you're just not that wanting all eyes on you. That's okay. What if you just took your mom or dad out for breakfast that week or something and just told them, thanks for bringing me to this moment. That's a cool thing to do. It doesn't have to be a big grandiose thing in front of 150 of your closest friends and family. And nothing about a wedding should be fake. So
Amen.
in that regard, they need to make sure that aligns with who they are as a couple and who their parents are too.
It's funny, and this is how we met.
Gosh.
How did we meet?
I'm trying to remember. It might have been
probably one of the some. I think it was either. I think we might have met.
Beat?
I think it was Mobile Beat. We met at Mobile Beat somehow, and it's been a friendship since then, and much more than that. But the guys out there, when I need help sales wise to think outside the box, this is the man. His sales seminars, every seminar he does is from the heart. And his newest one, I'm really excited to see in February. Definitely.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time out there. What are 3 lessons or takeaways, if you will, that you can share with our audience that they can implement either this week, next week, or that they can implement? Let's make it that way.
So 3 lessons you can implement in your business.
Right.
I've always said this from the start. Whenever you are going into a conversation with a client, you need to clean slate it. What I mean by clean slate it is block everything else out. Blank slate in your mind. Focus on that individual. How can I help them get what they are looking for? Sometimes that's you. Sometimes that's not you.
Right.
And that's okay. In a sales meeting, I usually tell a couple, hey, hopefully at the end of this, worst case scenario, you've got more information to be able to find the right company for you. And best case scenario, you just found your entertainment for your wedding, and you could check one more thing off your list. Okay, right. So clean slate. That's one. Second thing. I would encourage everyone to realize that you are the expert. Oftentimes, we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes, especially in the sales process. I find a lot of DJs, they have the ego. They think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, rocking the dance floor. But they don't always approach it from the expert side on the sales side. And so you need to own that and think about what can you share? What is one idea, one concept, one thing that you did that helped a couple and saved them from a situation that could have gone horribly wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing? And if you can think about that one thing, sharing stories will help the couple see that you are the expert. That's a big thing. So
Without saying that. Without
Yeah.
saying that.
without saying you're the expert, because
Correct.
again, I see it. I talk to couples all the time on Zoom, and have that, and they said, well, the DJ just kind of told us what he did. He said, I show up and we're gonna play the songs and you tell me what you want to hear. You let me know what the wedding party pronunciations are and what time you want this to happen, and I'll make sure I announce it, and then we're gonna have a great time. You want to sign?
Yeah. You're getting a lot of that now.
It's
Now more
cookie
than
cutter.
ever. Yeah,
It's cookie
everybody.
cutter.
Yeah,
And that's okay. There's a market for cookie cutter.
right.
But if you want to be different, you've got to figure out how to stand out without tooting your own horn.
That
That's-
1%, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and people have to understand that.
Yeah.
So we got two. We got one more.
All right. So third thing to do, never arrive. And that's one of the things I live by. Never arrive. Never arrive means that you always are looking to grow. You never think you made it. You never think that, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know. Because when that happens, you might as well hang them up. Because you're just doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. So always have the heart of a student. And if you can, teach others. Teacher learns a lot, almost just as much as the student.
Right.
So I encourage you to, if you're not, I've heard this before, I think Bill Herman said this before, but I just saw, I'll give you an analogy. I just saw a concert, went to a concert this past Friday, okay? The opening act has been on stages since 2012. Was on a national TV show that he got his start. Great performer. Horrible. I didn't say, I guess I don't want to be too bad. But he was not as good as the second act and the headline act. Like, he was nervous. He was stumbling over his words. He wasn't connecting with the audience. And so he got to a plateau and he kind of just stayed there. And it's okay to be nervous. I'm not saying it's not okay to be nervous. That's not what I'm saying at all. You can be nervous. And you can tell the audience you're nervous. But you can't be stumbling over your words and not having a connecting point. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The English vocabulary is so expansive. Like, learn how to speak. And you have to sit in front of different audiences. One week, you may be playing for a higher society. The next week, you may be playing for more down-home folks. You have to be a chameleon and be able to blend with both audiences. And vocabulary and how you do what you do will allow you to do that. So
yeah, you can't be the same guy or girl.
Right. And so that opener, I truly hope he was taking notes, because the next act was my wife's favorite act, and he came out and just we've seen him 4 or 5 times. It was his best show I think I've ever seen. Like, he just crushed everything. He crushed the interaction with the audience. He crushed humor. I've said this before. This is a Jeffrey Gitomer line. At the height of laughter is listening. So if you can make people laugh, now you've got their attention.
Right.
Then they're going to
Amen.
listen. So that's a key thing. So yeah, never arrive. Always be a student.
Love that. Love that. See, that's the whole thing. You know, people forget that we're playing other people's music at our client's behest. We're
Yeah.
not writing music. We're not doing anything else. Yeah. Is there, you know, the DJs, some of these amazing DJs watching all these guys, everything else like that, that's wonderful. But what sets you apart and doing weddings is not just about DJ.
No, and I'll say this too, Big Daddy. I had this
Yep.
conversation with couples all the time. And inside the industry, okay, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit.
Sure.
Inside the industry, DJs, MCs get caught up on, well, the MC side is more important. No, the DJ side is more important.
They're both important. They're both important. Yes.
They're both important. You can be the greatest MC, and if you don't have strong programming skills or mixing skills,
Right.
your party can bomb. And you can be the best programmer or mixer, and if you can't string 2 sentences together, your party can bomb.
Amen.
So you have to have both skill sets, in my opinion. And couples today, it's harder than ever to choose entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, we have the advent of social media and reviews and reels and TikTok and Instagram and all those things that help, right? That allows DJs to showcase their art, their talents, their skills to an audience. It's not just the 150, 200 people sitting there on a Saturday night and observing, getting referrals. That's great too, but leverage socials like a lot of our brothers and sisters do, right? But it used to be you hired a DJ based upon how many songs they had.
Right.
Now it's more, you need to choose a DJ not on a music library, but more so on their talents, and not only what they play, but when they play it and how they play it.
Correct.
You know, a great example is, and this may be a song people play, maybe they don't, whatever, but Baby by Justin Bieber. Nobody wants to hear the whole of that song.
No.
Nobody. You're playing the chorus, the hook, right? The chorus, and you're playing the ludicrous part. People want to rap the ludicrous part.
They want 2 verses, a chorus, and ludicrous. That's it.
And get out. They don't
Get
need
out.
the rest of it. And I know quick mixing is a big thing right now. I know a lot of guys and gals do quick mixing. I've seen a little more of a backlash against it in my sales calls. I'm doing sales calls all over the country now, from Connecticut to California and Colorado and Michigan and everywhere in between, you know. I've heard people, I don't want that quick mix, you know. And so I think that's a regional thing, I think.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I'm not saying
Here in Connecticut, yes and no. Here in Connecticut and New York, my area, yes and no. It all depends on your client.
Yes, agreed. Scott Faber, our good friend, is known for saying know your client, and absolutely unequivocally yes.
Amen. Amen.
So
you know, and all the places out of all the different areas that you're selling to now with, you know, your area, California, Colorado, Connecticut. Which ones do you find the most, I don't know how to say this, but diverse? I mean, diversify, not this, what old school? Which ones do you find that are more old school than new school? Does that make sense?
I think so. I mean, timelines vary greatly from
Big
across.
time.
So,
Connecticut, it's 5 hours, hour
yep,
cocktails,
yep,
intros, introductions, first dance. Sometimes they front load everything, father, daughter, mother,
yes,
son,
yes.
and then sit down, do speeches. And then if you're lucky, if they don't have a buffet and they do courses, dancing between courses, which I'm a big proponent of.
I know you
But
are.
then you go to, you've seen it. Then you go to Colorado and it's completely different.
Yep.
And where you're selling in California, I did a couple in Southern California with
Yep.
George Lopez not long ago, about 5-6 years ago. And they're going, you do what? You dance between courses?
Yeah. It's like Greek.
Yeah. And once
So
you
I
get
have to be
them used to
careful.
it, right?
Yeah. I have to be careful of, well, first off, what hat am I wearing at the time?
Right.
And then the other factor is, the timeline situation and discussing to make sure I am tailoring, no pun intended,
Mhm.
the conversation to what the client knows.
Right.
So that's a key thing. You as a performer, and our friend George Lopez has said this before. I've credited George for saying this: sell when you perform and perform when you sell. And that is 100% truth.
Amen.
You have to be on every moment.
With both sets, with both ways you're doing it.
Yeah, with both ways. But here's the other thing. That can weigh on you. I'm sure many of our brothers and sisters, like, that can just be the mental
Breaker.
You know what I mean? And so when you get home from an event, you get home, out of the office, and you lock your office door and you drive back into your driveway and you come into the house,
And you go, oh.
Yeah, you need a place where you can let down your burdens, but you also need to be able to give yourself to your family too.
Now, you know what? That's for me. And you have an amazing family, and you do that. Your family time and everything else. Now with my grandkids, it's a lot, because of social media and
Yeah,
everything. Thank heaven for FaceTime and all that good stuff
absolutely.
through COVID and everything else. Because I am older than dirt, I don't have to work during the week because I'm on Social Security.
Yeah,
I don't have to work. I can hang out with people. Talk
that's
to
great.
my babies and stuff like that. It's huge.
Yeah.
But the burden, and it's funny. You say what you said. Being on all the time. If I'm just walking down the street and I see some people I know, and I'm not, hey, how y'all doing, everybody? Hi, how are you? Oh, are you okay, Big Daddy? Holy, I'm like,
Yeah,
really? And you want to just, and as far as performing goes, what's going to separate whatever is who you are as a person. And are you listening to, even not just during your sales, listening to everybody that's going to be on, because everybody and their mother's on our sales calls now. But at the event itself,
yeah,
because you never know if you're going to pick up something that's going to mean something to them that they forgot.
correct. Well, and that's also why you should record your sales calls and make sure that if you do have other talents working for you, they have those notes. We have meeting summaries with AI now. It makes it super simple just to copy paste.
Oh yeah,
drop into your DJP or whatever you're using for your CRM.
Yep.
To be able to have your talent have that data. So there should be zero excuse for not being able to truly listen, because we have software that can do it for us now, and make sure that the couples get what they want to get out of their event. And your talent is armed with the info to truly make a difference.
That's the whole thing. Well, my friend, I know we're allowed to go on a couple minutes more, and I want to. Let's get the main point that I have connected with is be in the moment, be present, be present of all things. That's what you taught me. Between you, George, and Mike Walter, and even Randy Bartley, even I don't like him that much. He knows I talk about him all the time. But the thing is, all the people who I have learned from, I will continue to learn from and listen, because, as you said, you don't know everything. There's going to be something that it strikes you in your mind going, oh my, you know what? That might work with these folks. It may not work with everybody, but it might work with some of these folks. So be in the moment, be present.
Yes.
How can these folks get a hold of you?
You can find me on my website, mitchtaylor.net. You can find me on most social platforms at the Mitch Taylor or at Mitch Taylor are my handles typically across the board. Mitch Taylor 23 on Instagram. I need to get all the handles the same, but we have at the Mitch Taylor for the speaking side and the author side. The books I've written, of course, Sales for Event Pros, and then Lyrics to Live Life By, the latest.
That's the latest one, and folks, loving it. Buy his books. As Kevin Nash used to say, buy the book.
This is going to be keynoting in MEX coming up February 19th. And then it'll also, I'm doing a slightly different keynote with the same book with a twist that not everyone even knows about yet, the twist we're doing on this. That's coming up at Midwest DJs Live. It's going to be April 28th through the 30th in Milwaukee at the Hyatt Regency downtown. So grab your tickets, either mobileentertainmentexpo.com or midwestdjslive.com.
And for some strange reason, they want me to be at MEX again. I have no idea. I am the official closer at MEX this year. I am the closer.
Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Chris D'Amico right before me. What a but you know what, folks? I want to go to this man right here. This guy right here. On my 65th birthday, which is what, 100 years ago? I had just done an event. I pull in to my regular karaoke Tuesday night, and I see all these cars and everything. The place is packed. I'm going, wow, must be something going on. I walk in the back door because I couldn't get into the front door. All I hear is surprise. For who? You idiot, it's your birthday. And the next thing I see is this handsome fella stick his head out going, surprise! I don't think it really sunk in for about 10 minutes, and then I just lost it. And this is the kind of brotherhood and friendship that we have. And I am honored, so honored. And my friends, listen to this, go back, listen, learn, because there was a lot of great stuff that Mitch talked about tonight. Hey, Mitch, do you get a goodie bag from me?
I do. Yay.
Yeah.
So this Big Daddy practices what I live by too. Give first. Always give first. Never arrive. I mentioned that earlier. And then finally,
get her done. Get it done. Well, there's not going to be any Tic Tacs in it or anything else, but there will be gaff tape. You get XLR cord, Perfect Portals computer mat, and a bunch of other stuff. But again, thank you to my sponsors, and most of all, Mitch, thank you. Honored. Cannot wait to see you in February. And everybody out there, remember, be safe, be well, be present. Have a great night.